Former Trump White House advisor Steve Bannon is expected to turn himself into prosecutors in New York today. He's been indicted in connection to a fundraising effort for a border wall, and he's vowing to fight the charges, which he calls phony. Senior investigative reporter Aaron Katersky joins me live now for more on this. Aaron, what's the latest? Because we know a bit about these charges, but not exactly.
Diane,
are you getting information right now?
Let me give you a bit of breaking news.
Great.
Steve Bannon has just arrived at the Manhattan DA's office in Lower Manhattan to turn himself in to surrender to face charges related to We Build the Wall, an online crowd-funded campaign to support what was former President Trump's signature domestic policy initiative, a wall along the U.S. southern border with Mexico. Bannon is outside now speaking to cameras. He's already called these charges phony and said they're part of a weaponized criminal justice system, but they are very real charges, and they will be unsealed shortly as Bannon prepares to now talk to investigators and then make his initial appearance in court sometime later today.
Aaron, thank you. And do stay with us, but I want to bring in our legal contributor, Brian Buckmeyer, into the conversation as well. Brian, how serious are these charges?
The charges can be very serious. We don't know quite yet in terms of what they are because the indictment is sealed. But when you tell me that you're accusing someone of stealing $100 million, as a New York State defense attorney, you're telling me grand larceny in the first degree, and that's a B felony. So that's up to 25 years with a minimum of 5 years in jail.
Aaron, former President Trump pardoned Bannon on his last day in office on similar federal charges. So how did this state investigation get started? Are those related?
Well, the state charges are expected to resemble the federal charges brought by federal prosecutors here in Manhattan. And in that case, Bannon was charged with defrauding donors, siphoning money out of We Build the Wall to line his own pockets and that of his co-defendants. Two of his co-defendants in that federal case ended up pleading guilty and may well have helped the Manhattan District Attorney's Office build its own case against Bannon. Once Bannon received a pardon on the federal crimes, the Manhattan DA took a look and began its own investigation to see whether there were specific donors from New York who were allegedly defrauded as part of this scheme that the federal prosecutors had laid out. And now apparently we know the result as the Manhattan DA's office is prepared to announce these charges against Bannon. Double jeopardy does not apply here because no jury was ever impaneled to hear the federal charges. This all happened pre-trial, the pardon. So there's no issue with any kind of double jeopardy here.
And how long before they might reveal those exact charges that he's facing?
We should hear soon. Now that he's turned himself in at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and he'll make his initial appearance, the case will be unsealed and we'll see. But I'm told from sources that it is expected that Bannon will face felony charges that could expose him to years in prison potentially.
So, Brian, Bannon, as Aaron mentioned, he's calling these charges phony. He's vowing to fight. How strong is the case against him and his apparent defense based on what we know at this point?
Based on what we know, it's a little difficult because federal charges of wire fraud and potential state charges have different elements to them. And so without seeing what the specific charges are, it's a little difficult, but we can see the fact that his co-conspirators in the federal case already pled guilty or one had a mistrial, while he did receive a presidential pardon. Typically, you don't get pardons unless there's strong evidence against you or you're guilty. So at the forefront, it looks like a very difficult case for Steve Bannon, even not knowing the charges.
All right, Aaron Katersky, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.